Stomping Grounds. Stomping Grounds. Stomping Grounds, in my honest opinion, guys, was a good show. In my opinion, it was good. And that's all I'm going to give it, man. That's all I'm going to give it. I'm going to be honest and being nice. And I think this was a good show. Overall, this is all my opinion. And as a famous saying is, as there's a famous saying going around is, don't judge a book by its cover. And indeed, that's the case. That's indeed the case. You don't judge a book by its cover. A lot of the matches were actually very good tonight. But outside of the main event, which I'll get to that when I get to it. But we're going to start things off with the Cruiserweight title. Now, again, I want to remind everybody that I do have a bit of a sore throat and my eye is annoying me. I don't know what's going on, but I do have a bit of a sore throat. So, yeah, I may have to pause every now and then. So, but anyway, we're going to talk about the pre-show match that was the Cruiserweights. Tony Nese defended his title against Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak. Now, it's exactly what I said about Tony Nese on my predictions. Tony Nese just really wasn't the type of champion that I was really into. I wasn't really enjoying him as champion. Now, I know I said I haven't watched much of 205, but I could definitely see why a lot of people weren't really into him as champion. So I thought it would just been better if they took the title off him, and that's exactly what they did. Tony Nese didn't capture that magic like Buddy Murphy did when he was the champion. So they gave the title to Drew Gulak, and I actually like this. I don't really hate Drew Gulak much now that I used to. I used to hate his PowerPoint presentation stuff, but he doesn't really do that anymore. And I'm happy with that. I'm glad he doesn't do it anymore. So yeah, good on Drew Gulak on winning the Cruiserweight Championship. So the first match we had on the main show was Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. This was just straight away given away on Twitter. That it was announced that they're going to start the match, start the show. And Becky Lynch gets the win here. I'm not really going to say much about this match. I really wasn't a fan of this match. I thought this was a bit boring. And it just didn't exceed well to me. And yeah, it's because it's Lacey. Well, I can't really blame it all on Lacey. But Lacey is still young. She's still green in the ring. She still has a lot of improving to do. So yeah, I'll definitely say... So I guess we could definitely say Lacey definitely needs a lot of work. And I was really hoping that this was the end of the feud, but after what we saw what happened in the main event, that doesn't seem to be the case. Next we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn take on the New Day in a tag team match. And in my honest opinion, this is how tag team wrestling should be dealt with. Great, solid tag team matchup. It even got a "This is awesome" chant. That tells you that these guys are doing everything right in this matchup. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ended up winning. I'm very happy that they gave us a great match to enjoy. I really enjoyed this match. And Kevin and Sami got the win. Next we had Ricochet take on Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. And this definitely wasn't my favorite match. But it definitely got better as it went on. But at the end of the day, I'm going to straight up say this. I don't want anyone complaining, especially to all the people that watch NXT, and they worry for their little NXT call-up wrestlers that they hope that they don't get, that's to the point where, they'd be worried that they're going to get buried or anything like that. I don't want people complaining, especially those types of people. Ricochet has been booked incredibly since his call up to the main roster. Ricochet became the brand new United States Champion, and it was the correct decision. It was the correct decision that WWE had to do. They made Ricochet the number one contender, and they gave him the championship. This was the right decision to make. This was absolutely 100% the right decision to make. And you can get Samoa Joe up to the Universal Championship. You've got so many other people you can choose to take on Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. You can do Cesaro, you can do Samoa Joe, you could do maybe Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. Like, you could definitely pick a lot of people. There's definitely a lot of other choices for Seth Rollins. But like I said, after we saw what happened in the main event, I think we're going to be getting more of the same. So yeah, Ricochet is being utilized. Ricochet is being utilized the way that everybody wanted him to. So I don't want anyone complaining about it. Congratulations to Ricochet, man. That was a great performance by Ricochet, and I'm really happy to see him as the new United States Champion. Then we move on to the Heavy Machinery taking on Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I actually did not know that this was actually in Washington, because Daniel Bryan's from Seattle, Washington. Excuse me. So I had no clue that this was in Washington. So yeah, I was very surprised that the crowd was cheering him, which I was trying to figure out why. And then when they mentioned that they were in his hometown, I was like, oh, well, okay, I clearly didn't know that. So yeah, and again, another great example of a good tag team match. Heavy Machinery was definitely very impressive in the match. They were very impressive. And they definitely shown that they are future tag team champions. They showed that they are future tag team champions in the tag team division. They're definitely going to get their turn when the time comes. So in the end of the day, Bryan and Rowan got the win. And yeah, they are still the tag team champions. So then we had Bayley taking on Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now I'm going to straight up say, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but if you guys heard my predictions, then you guys know. Then you guys would know. I've been saying from the very beginning that Alexa Bliss was never going to win. I hope now this stops all that stupid bullshit of blondes get everything. Which I know it's not going to stop, because these idiot fans don't understand that just because the girl has blonde hair doesn't mean they're guaranteed a title shot. Look at Mandy Rose. How many titles has that girl earned over the course of her career being on the main roster? Not as many as Charlotte and Alexa Bliss combined. And Lacey Evans has already gotten more title shots than Mandy Rose ever had. So please, don't give me this bullshit that blonde hair girls always get title shots. Mandy Rose is the only blonde that has not gotten anything. So I don't want to hear this blonde hair excuses. It's time to end the blonde hair excuse bullshit and just move on. But at the end of the day, I knew the result was going to be Bayley. And also, it's just like what I said, I wasn't worried that Alexa Bliss was going to win. I knew she wasn't going to win. I said, this is going to lead into Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is going to do something. And I was correct again. Like I said, I don't want to act cocky. I don't want to act like I'm Mr. I know everything. But again, I said all this in my predictions. If you guys watched my predictions video, then you know that this was all the shit that I said in my predictions video. That's why you guys are hearing me repeat the same thing. Because this is the exact same stuff I said in my predictions video. And I was proven correct. So Bayley got the win. Probably going to move her on to probably like Charlotte. I hope not, but I hope not, but hey, they probably will. Since they probably will. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I'm going to straight up say that I really don't like seeing Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre versus each other. I was willing to give them a second chance, but after what I saw, I'm done. I don't want to see these two versus each other again, but of course we are tomorrow. We are gonna be seeing them versus each other again tomorrow in a handicap match on Raw. Ooh, like I am really supposed to be excited for a handicap match involving Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. Please, man, please. Can you just move on from this crap? Roman Reigns got the win. Shane McMahon tried to interfere several times, which was predictable. And Roman Reigns got the win with a spear. I mean, I think at this point Drew McIntyre is done for. In my opinion, I think Drew McIntyre is done for. Like, this is the second time that this man has lost to Roman Reigns. I really want to have high hopes for Drew McIntyre, but it seems like Drew McIntyre... Bloody hell, I'm so itchy. I just feel like Drew McIntyre is going straight back to the way he was when he was in WWE before. I really don't want to go that far, but it seems to be the case. Hopefully Drew McIntyre rebounds, but again, at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like it. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame. It's a real darn shame. Kofi Kingston takes on Dolph Ziggler inside of a steel cage, and oh my god, what a cage match indeed, man. I was really a fan of this match. It was a bit slow at the start, but it got better as it went on. There were several times where I believed Dolph Ziggler was actually going to win. It was a hard-hitting match. It was good. It may not be at the levels of steel cages that everybody used to like back in the day in the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era, but I did enjoy this steel cage match for what it was, man. And the way the match ended was even brilliant. Kofi Kingston diving out through the cage door. When the cage door was open, as Dolph Ziggler was crawling out, Kofi Kingston dived through the ropes to land outside. Great way to end it. A great way to end the match, and I think it's a great way to put an end to this feud. A steel cage, to me, is a great way to end the feud, and I think this is a good way to end the feud with Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston. Great match. I really enjoyed it. Great match. But unfortunately, all the great matches that I enjoyed, well, I actually thought the women's matches didn't really deliver as well as I thought they would. But to me, I guess they were still more enjoyable than this piece of garbage that we got next. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin, man. You know, I'm straight up going to tell you guys this, that I really do not care. And the fact they made Lacey Evans the referee of the main event, to me, spoiled the whole match. To me, it spoiled the ending. And I want to bring this up real quick. I've been hearing a lot of people complain about this. And yeah, I agree with them. WWE continues to bring up the fact that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are dating. They constantly bring it up. They constantly talk about it. They spoke about it when Becky Lynch was competing against Lacey Evans. And then they mentioned it again. It was just trash, man. Like, we get it. They're dating. We don't need to hear you say it. We don't need to continuously hear you say it. To me, that was just annoying. And the fact they made Lacey Evans, the woman that Becky Lynch beat, as the referee, gave away the ending. To me, I knew Becky Lynch was going to get involved. Everybody knew. Everybody knew Becky Lynch was going to get involved at the end of this thing. And to me, that's what ruined it. Now, it makes sense because Seth has been smacking the steel chair against males. And we all know Seth Rollins isn't going to hit a woman. So, yeah. I get that. In storyline wise, it makes sense. That they made Seth Rollins hit all the men, but when a woman is the referee, he's not going to hit a woman. So yeah, I definitely see that as a good example. But at the end of the day, we all knew what was going to happen, man. We all knew what the result was going to be. I really, sorry, excuse me for my my voice. We all knew at the end of the day that Seth was going to win, Becky was going to get involved, and yeah, I can definitely see that a lot of people are definitely annoyed. And yeah, I definitely agree that people. I'm on board with you people. I'm getting a bit annoyed that they keep using Seth and Becky's relationship as a storyline, like they did it with Nikki Bella and John Cena. Well, not straight away, obviously. They didn't shove Nikki and Cena's relationship down our throats when they first got together. They did it with... we all know when they did it, but yeah, I definitely see that point of view. Bryan and Brie, they did the same thing for them when they were feuding with Miz and Maurice. I mean, like, I get it. There are some relationships that people are okay with, like your Bryan and Brie's, and your Miz and Maurice's, and your Mike and Maria's. Those types of people are willing to accept the fact that they're dating, but I feel like the reason why the fans don't like the fact that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are dating, well, the fans aren't mad about the fact they're dating. I think the fans are more mad about the fact that WWE is taking advantage of this, and they're just using it as an on-screen scenario. Because they didn't do this straight away with every other relationship that happened in WWE. So, yeah. Like, they haven't even used Andrade and Charlotte as a storyline. They're dating, and no one's used that as a storyline. So, but hey. But hey, man. That's everything about Stomping Grounds. Seth Rollins got the win. Like I said, Seth Rollins got the victory with a curb stomp on Baron Corbin. Referee John Cone, the referee that Baron Corbin yelled at the Super Showdown, refereed at the very end because Becky Lynch beat the crap out of Lacey Evans. Now, there's a couple of things. There is one thing I do want to mention before I go. I can't stand Corey Graves on commentary. I don't know why people like him. I just can't stand his commentary, man. He comes off like a complete utter hypocrite. He praises Alexa Bliss like the whole thing with Alexa Bliss and all that shit. I get that. He's a heel commentator. He's supposed to be annoying. But here's the thing, right? Byron Saxton mentioned the whole thing with Mickie James and Nia Jax, and then Corey Graves' response was, "Oh well, they should have seen it coming," making it sound like that Alexa Bliss, stabbed them in the back for good reasons. And it makes me think, I'm like, well, that's just complete utter shit because you have been saying the same thing about Sasha Banks. Every time when Sasha Banks and Bayley were teaming up, you'd always hear Corey Graves go out and say that, oh, Sasha Banks is going to stab Bayley in the back. She's going to stab her in the back. She's going to turn on her. She's not her real friend. And then when Byron Saxton does the same thing to Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross is not Alexa Bliss's real friend, and you just hear them constantly bickering back and forth. It's just complete, utter nonsense. Complete, utter nonsense. To me, Corey Graves is a complete, utter hypocrite. That he shits on the fact that Sasha Banks, someone who he didn't like, but he's like, oh, Sasha Banks is gonna stab Bayley in the back. But then he's bloody shitting on Byron Saxton for claiming that Alexa Bliss is gonna stab Nikki Cross in the back, when Alexa's done it to Mickie James and Nia Jax. Yes, I agree. Yeah, but listen, all I gotta say is Corey Graves is just a complete utter idiot. I get it. He's a heel commentator. He's supposed to do that. But at the end of the day, it just makes no sense. And let's make it even worse. And Corey Graves gets even worse during the main event sucking up to Baron Corbin, kissing his ass, bloody praising up Lacey Evans' bloody referee work. So I never knew, standing around, because this was Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans was standing around, not doing the count out, not DQing Baron Corbin, and Corey Graves calls it that Lacey Evans is doing a fantastic job as a referee. I mean, like, what the hell, man? So just standing around, just letting Baron Corbin do whatever the friggin' hell he wants is a good referee? I mean, literally, see, this is why I don't like Corey Graves. Again, I understand he's the heel commentator. He's supposed to come off annoying. He's supposed to be annoying with his heel commentary antics. But again, it gets nauseating. It gets absolutely nauseating. Just hearing it over and over and over again. And you get Michael Cole and Renee Young bringing up the time he was GM and how the ratings were flooding, and Ryan Sack and bloody Corey Graves was like, oh, how could you blame it all on Baron Corbin? And like, it wasn't Baron Corbin's fault. Like, they're just bickering with each other like a bunch of little kids. Like, they're bickering with each other like they're just at a schoolyard, just arguing with each other over who's their favorite wrestler. I mean, seriously, this is why I don't like Corey Graves. I didn't mind Corey Graves at the start. But as the years gone on, he's just gotten worse. I don't like the fact he purrs on Mandy Rose. I don't like the fact he purrs on Alexa Bliss. It's just annoying, man. It's just annoying. I don't like Corey Graves. And sometimes I can tolerate his commentary, but when it comes to the point where he's just downright annoying, that's when things get bad to me. But anyway, guys, that's everything I've got for you guys for Stomping Grounds. You guys let me know down below what were your opinions on Stomping Grounds. I thought Stomping Grounds was actually a pretty good show. I thought it was good. A lot of the matches were pretty solid. But the main event was a bit of a tragic. I will say the main event was a bit of a train wreck. So, at the end of the day, guys, I will give Stomping Ground a 7 out of 10. So, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your opinions down below. I don't think I'll do Universe Mode today, guys. I think I'll save that for another time because I need to rest my voice. My throat is sore. And yeah, I'll skip out on Universe Mode today. I will probably do it, you know, when I'm ready. So anyway, guys, see you guys in my next video. That will be the Raw review tomorrow. See you then.